Hallo meine Freunde, Michael87 hier und heute reagieren wir auf Dubais Radical Plan for 2040. Ich finde Dubai super, war schon 3-mal jetzt da, aber ich weiß, die Stadt ist sehr umstritten und da wird bestimmt auch vieles getrieben, was nicht so ganz gut ist. Nichtsdestotrotz, ich freue mich drauf. Ist eine Videoempfehlung aus dem Chat. Let's go.
Dubai wants to become one of the world's most livable cities by 2040. The only problem? Well, right now it's a bit of a mess. Expressways cut through neighbourhoods, there's pretty minimal public transport, mega projects are disconnected from critical infrastructure, and man-made islands are sinking. Its harshest critics say the city is a series of postcard attractions connected by big highways. To sort that all out, there's now a radical new plan to properly urbanise this desert city by 2040. But is it really possible to fix Dubai?
Now, one big question that we're all asking, what will Dubai look like by 2040?
It's getting to be a pretty familiar sight. Dubai's leaders gather for the announcement of yet another incredible project.
Also ich muss sagen, die Straßen sind echt katastrophal. Da wurde einfach irgendwie querbeet durchgemäht und da war nicht so viel Planung involviert, würde ich jetzt behaupten.
The Burj Khalifa is lit up with dazzling LEDs and fireworks. The press is inundated with glossy renderings and superlative statements.
People-centric urban plan.
But this project is different. It's not a skyscraper or world's biggest something, but an idea. An idea that could fundamentally change Dubai forever.
They say here in the UAE, forward is the only way the wind blows.
The 2040 master plan will see 3 existing areas redeveloped into new city centres, 2 entirely new city centres created, and brand new financial and technology districts established to boost innovation and invention. $680 million will go into planting 8 million square metres of green corridors for pedestrians and cyclists. Neighbourhoods will be retrofitted to become miniature 15-minute cities with their own commercial and recreational centres. And linking it all together will be a massive new public transport network that'll be within 800 metres of half the population. That means those people will never be more than about half a mile away from public transport, a move that would effectively make the entire city walkable. Critical education and health facilities will be increased by 25%, and 60% of the Emirates will be purely dedicated to nature reserves and wildlife sanctuaries. It's seriously impressive, but when you think about it, it's also pretty standard. Shouldn't all functioning international cities have public transport, green space, areas to have fun, and financial hubs? Well, yes, but Dubai isn't a regular city, and it was never really built
Nee, Dubai ist keine normale Stadt, das ist definitiv so.
to be. To understand why such a bold master plan is now necessary, you kind of have to get your head around how we got here. Half a century ago, Dubai was a small trading port home to just 30,000 people. But that all changed in 1966 when oil was discovered.
To most of us, oil may be just the stuff that drives the car. To Arabia, it's a revolution. There isn't a thing it leaves untouched.
By Middle Eastern standards, it was only a modest amount, and neighbouring Abu Dhabi had 10 times more. But it was enough to fund then-ruler Sheikh Rashid's grand ambitions. He understood that in order for Dubai to survive after the oil ran out, they'd have to get the world's attention and investment.
Do you not like the word crisis?
No, it's a challenge. In Arabian Peninsula, every day is a challenge for us. Challenge for the water, challenge to something to eat, and everyday challenge. So we take it as a challenge.
Sitting in pretty much the middle of the world, Dubai was always naturally well positioned to become an aviation superhub. And with easy access to Europe, Asia and Africa, the city's airport quickly became the world's busiest by international passengers.
The vultures of world commerce descend on Said's little kingdom.
Also das Klima in Dubai ist schon sehr, sehr cool. Aber im Sommer für mich echt zu heiß. Mit über 50 Grad ist dann schon heavy und da siehst du den Tag durch ja auch nicht mehr so viele Leute, ne? Aber sonst Klima auch im Winter sehr, sehr angenehm.
They're perfectly decent vultures, just bankers and businessmen doing their job.
By minimising sales and income tax, the city also drew in companies and investors. But it meant the government had to find a new dependable source of income. With few taxes and a dwindling supply of oil, they turned to tourism and quickly discovered they could lure people out of the airport with incredible mega projects. And that's where Dubai's build it and they will come idea all started. It was a policy that worked, but one that some claim tended to prioritise the glitz and glamour. It seemed to be that even if the project made little sense in itself, if it could pull tourists and investors into the 50-degree desert heat, then it would probably get the go-ahead. That sometimes meant that construction of the projects was even ahead of the infrastructure. One of the most famous examples is probably at the Burj Khalifa, where it's been widely reported that the skyscraper isn't actually hooked up to the city's sewage system. The world
Also der Burj Khalifa, da kommen glaube ich täglich so irgendwie um die, 100 oder wie viele Lastwagen und pumpen die Kacke ab, weil das nicht an die Kanalisation angeschlossen ist. Also eigentlich das höchste Gebäude der Welt ist nicht an die Kanalisation angeschlossen. Da müssen immer Lastwagen kommen und pumpen das jeden Tag ab. Und das ist dann halt schon so, ja, muss man ein bisschen belächeln. Also das verstehe ich dann schon.
The world's tallest building could, at full capacity, hold 35,000 people, and the city quickly realised it wouldn't be able to handle the amount of waste that they could, theoretically, all produce. So instead of expanding the municipal sewage system, it was decided that it would be more cost-effective to have trucks arrive every morning and carry the waste to a treatment plant.
Here's all the poop trucks all lined up. How much, Mark? 10,000 gallons each.
Some believe that you could then see this kind of thinking in a lot of the city's planning, like the series of man-made islands that were entirely dependent on water taxis and private boats to survive, or the city's reliance on highways with relaxed speeding laws that let those fast cars go as fast as they want. It's all enough to make the 2040 plan feel like a no-brainer, and with Dubai's population set...
Ich muss zwar sagen, wir waren sehr viel mit dem Auto unterwegs und ich habe nie einen Verkehrsunfall gesehen. Aber die Stadt ist riesig, ne? Aber nur, weil die jetzt gesagt haben, es gibt da so viele Verkehrsunfälle.
To exceed that of Singapore and hit 6 million by 2040, it's clear why the plan is so critical. But will it actually work, and will it be enough? Well, everything that's been outlined makes sense and has proven to be a success in other cities. The scale of the task to make it happen in Dubai is biblical, but then this place has a reputation for redrawing the boundaries when it comes to construction. It's notoriously difficult to retrofit public transport networks into major urban areas. Often they have to skirt around existing major developments or dig under them at massive expense. And so far plans for the new metro lines have tended to be eye-catching rather than practical, with futuristic inner-city skytrains mooted as a way to avoid underground tunnelling. The challenge with planting trees is equally immense. Greening a city in the middle of a desert is never easy, but previous attempts to do it haven't gone sour because of a lack of rainfall. A plan to plant 1 million trees in 2010 fell apart because a major developer wanted to use the land instead. For the 2040 plan to work, the city will need to come to terms with the other benefits that dedicated protected green space can bring. Benefits that are all set out in the document. That's kind of where the biggest challenge lies. To really make the 2040 plan work, the city needs an almost fundamental change in its thinking and approach. It's the success of Dubai's current strategy that makes shifting to a new one incredibly tough. But it now seems ready to make the push. Dubai's rulers can see what it takes for a global city to succeed and are looking to replicate the impacts of other places.
So as a result, we're going to see a major capital works program here in Dubai. We're going to see more entrepreneurship and more investment, things that the city absolutely needs to stay viable into the future.
The master plan itself is just that, a high-level roadmap. Go on social media and you'll see the kinds of people talking about it aren't urban planners or architects, but everyday citizens on the street. It's helping Emiratis imagine the future of their city. Dubai's astonishing growth has dazzled the world and got everyone's attention. But now it needs to evolve from build it and they will come to adapt it so they'll stay. If you liked this video and you want to learn more about where construction is headed, make sure you're subscribed to tomorrow's build.
Ja, also echt total crazy, was sie da machen wollen, aber da kannst du halt, das ist halt auch die Frage, ne? Hätten sie nicht besser von Anfang an das alles richtig geplant und halt von Beginn an mit Tunnel für die U-Bahn und so gemacht. Wäre bestimmt einfacher gewesen. Aber also auch der Scheich, ne, Mohammed, der ist da ready to rumble, ne? Und der will auch ja die ganze Krypto-Szene, was die da an Messen rausschießen und das ist echt auch total crazy, was da alles abgeht in Dubai. Ist momentan ein riesen Hotspot. Die gehen so andere Wege, die haben Influencer eingeladen, um Werbung zu machen. War, glaube ich, die erste Stadt, die das so bewusst gemacht hat, um die Europäer nach Dubai zu holen. Und schon sehr, sehr crazy. Und ich denke, da wird schon noch sehr, sehr, sehr viel gehen. Ist bestimmt ein guter Tipp, da weiterhin Auge drauf zu halten. Ich hoffe, euch hat das Video gefallen. Lasst doch ein Abo und ein Like da, ich würde mich riesig freuen. Und schreibt in die Kommentare, auf was für ein Video ich das nächste Mal reagieren soll. Bye, bye.